Hi, boys and ghouls. This is Count Watsula. With Halloween just around the corner, we want to introduce you to a spooky, scary new tune called A Spooky Melody. By the way, you can download a free PDF sheet music by clicking the link down below. I have to warn you in advance that this video is going to be super scary. In fact, you can tell it's very scary. This wig is very scary. It was the only thing left on the shelf at Walmart. That's another story. But seriously, kids, to learn the spooky melody, you have to enter my castle, Castle Watsula, if you dare. Inside the castle, I will take you to my musical inner sanctum, a sinister, terror-filled room known as the Music Studio. What? That doesn't sound too scary? Well, it is, kids. It's actually called the Music Studio of Terror. And it's gonna be really scary. Just you wait and see. And now, if you dare, my young musicians, follow me. Whoa, that was really scary in a kind of a disorienting way. Okay, we're inside. I know it doesn't seem very scary, but it's really scary. It's super scary in here. And let me show you some of the scary things in Castle Watsula. Okay, so for instance, look at this. Some shoes that Countess Watsula left on the floor. I mean, you could trip on those and stub your toe or get a nasty bruise. That's really scary. What, you don't think that's scary? Well, this will send shivers up your spine. Look at these bills. I mean, when you see what it costs to pay for heat here, that's really scary. Ooh, look over here. A Halloween globe with smoke and bats. I mean, are you kidding me? That's really scary. Oh my gosh, what is with that super cheery music? It's supposed to be scary in here. We need some sinister organ music. Okay. Now we can proceed to the Music Studio of Immortal Scariness and Terror. I just improvised that Immortal part. Okay, kids, we're here. You should see the bone-tingling screams that come when I squeak on my clarinet or when I crack a note on my trumpet when I'm practicing. It's really scary. Okay, boys and girls, we're gonna move things along. So when you download the music, look for the line that has your instrument's name at the beginning. There is a line for flute, oboe, bells, clarinet, trumpet, also bass clarinet or baritone tenor clef, alto sax or bari sax, tenor sax, French horn, trombone, baritone, bassoon, tuba, and then there's a percussion line, which is snare drum and bass drum. We'll start with the notes. I like to tell my students before they play it, say it. So talk through the notes of your line and make sure you know all the notes. Check the key signature first, though. If there are 3 flats, that means you're going to have B flat, E flat, and A flat flutes. Or clarinet, you have 1 flat, which means you'll have a B flat in your line. Alto saxes, you do not have any sharps, so it's F natural. And tenor saxes, you have a B flat. French horns have B flat and E flat to play. Trombones, you have B flat, E flat, and A flat. So remember your A flat especially. And tubas, same thing, B flat, E flat, A flat. Now, there's one measure I want to point out, and that's the 4th measure. All of you have an accidental, and that means a sharp, flat, or natural that's not in the key signature. For the flutes, it's F sharp. For the clarinets, G sharp. Trumpets, G sharp. Alto sax, D sharp. Tenor sax, G sharp. French horns, C sharp. Trombones, F sharp, and tuba F sharp. Many of you maybe have never seen that note before, which means you have to look it up in the fingering chart in your book. Also notice in measure 6, there is a natural sign in parentheses. It's called a courtesy accidental, and it's just reminding you that the accidental you had in measure 4 is no longer in effect. Flutes, it's no longer F sharp, you're back to F natural. Clarinets, trumpets, it's no longer G sharp, you're back to G natural, and so on. Also, some of you at the last note of the song have an optional high note, a high octave note. So flutes, if you want to, in addition, you could play the high C instead of the low C. Or trumpets, you could play the high D instead of the low D. And trombones, you could play the high C instead of the low C. So those optional high octave notes, you can look those up in your fingering chart as well.
All right, so we've talked about the notes. Let's talk about the rhythm. The rhythm is simply quarter, 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 half, eighth, 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 quarter, 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 whole, quarter, 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 half, eighth, 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 quarter, eighth, eighth, quarter, quarter, dotted half. Okay, I sang you the rhythm names. Now let's talk about the counts. The counts go like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, 2, and 3, 4. Hold 2, 3, 4. And you're off on 4. Okay, so that's the rhythm. Now, let's talk about the dynamics. It starts with a P, standing for piano. Piano means play very softly, kind of like you're sneaking around a haunted house. Bum, 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 bum. But by measure 2, it's fortissimo, double forte. That means very loud, so that's going to be a surprise. So get very loud, and then there's a decrescendo, come back to softer, and then sneak around again. Bum, 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 bum. And it stays soft. Bum, 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 bum. But in measure 6, double forte, fortissimo, ba, yum, dum, 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 decrescendo, and then soft, bum, ba, da, dum, loud, bum, ba. So a lot of dynamic changes, which is what makes it kind of spooky. Another thing that makes it spooky are the articulations. Articulations are the way you tongue a note, slur a note, the style of playing the note. So for instance, there are dots, staccato dots over top of many of the notes. They mean to play the notes detached. A lot of us think play them short. Technically, it means play them separate, detached from one another. So kind of like a plucked string. Boom, boom, boom. Then you have an accent, looks like a greater than sign in the second measure. So that's a ba, a big hard tongue. And then you have a slur, ta. So connect those two notes. And then some more staccatos, ta, da, da, da. Continue with staccato, da, 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 da on the accidental. Back to staccato, da, 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 da. Accent, ta, slur, ta, ya, da, da. Staccato, right? And then ta, slur, ta. Accent, accent. So we end it with a bang with those accents. Put all of that together, and you've got a really spooky melody. Okay, just a little bit of help for our drummers. You'll notice that there are some single strokes, like in the first measure. 1, 2, 3, 4. But by the second measure, you're going to see that we do have some rolls. In fact, the second, fourth, sixth, and eighth measure each have 17-stroke rolls. The sticking is 1E and a 2E and a 3. So you should practice that. The half note is rolled into the quarter, 1E and a 2E and a 3. So it's a 2-beat roll that ends on beat 3. In the seventh measure, there's a 9-stroke roll, and that's 1E and a 2. So that's just a 1-beat roll. Also, there are dynamics drummers, so play close to the rim and sticks low for the piano. 1, 2, 3, 4. By the second measure, you can pull it back out here. 1E and a 2E and a 3 and 4 and. Then back to the rim. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1E and a 2E and a 3. Then a rest. Measure 5, still soft. 1, 2, 3, 4. Come back to the middle for 6. 1E and a 2E and a 3 and 4 and soft for the 9-stroke. 1E and a 2 and 3. And then loud on the fourth beat, 4, 1E and a 2E and a 3. So a lot of dynamic changes for our drummers, as well as opportunities to do 17-stroke rolls and 9-stroke rolls. All right, I already mentioned that you could download free PDF sheet music for a spooky melody by clicking the link below. You can also download a free play-along accompaniment track, which is a lot of fun to play while you're rehearsing a spooky melody or performing it for your family or friends. I hope you'll play it along with that track. Let me use my trumpet and demonstrate what it sounds like when you play a spooky melody to the track.
Okay, boys and ghouls, once you learn to play spooky melody really well, I hope you'll share it with all your family and friends. You know what Count Watsula always says? If you've got it, haunt it. With so many of you frightfully talented band students working on a spooky melody, I just know it's going to be a fantastic Halloween. I just feel it in my bones. I've got to go now. The Countess and I have plans to go see the play Romeo and Juliet tonight. So creep it real.